Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis. So we're gonna have a little bit more extensive coverage today, lots of things to cover. And as usual, after we finish the main subjects of the presentation, you can leave your comments, in your comments, some requests for a couple of charts on the cryptos that we are going to cover. We are going to go over the macro themes because of the latest events from today, and of course we are going to cover what's going on cryptos after this disaster that happened with the FTX, and I'm not gonna go over what happened there. You probably all know all of that. I'm gonna cover technicals and what I see, what is possible on the Bitcoin and Ether, and most likely a couple of other cryptos. So let's dive in. Let's start with what is going on with the rates and latest CPI. So as you know, our thesis was that the Fed is going to go with the smaller increments even before the Jerome Powell was actually stating that. So now with this latest CPI, of course, 14th of December, 75 basis points move, or biggest rise fell down to the 24.2%, and 50 basis point move now is around 75.8% of probability. So if we move this and switch that to 1st of February, we will see that we are looking for smaller increments on the upside. Of course, that's all going to depend on the additional data up to this months ahead, post to 2023 beginnings. So the CPI came at 7.7. We talked about that on our members webinar for the stock service yesterday. Todd, Terry and I had a long discussion about the rates, and we were looking for a number lower than actually predicted as a forecast at 7.9. I was looking for a lower number because of the chart of the 10-year yields, and as you know, our thesis and our wave counts implied that we are going to have a small pause in the rates moving on the upside. So I think finally we are going to see this wave, yellow wave 4, starts to unfold here. In which shape it is going to unfold, we still cannot know that. It can be a larger consolidation in maybe some type of a triangulation, and we spend a couple of months back and forth, and then we actually go up in a final fifth wave. It can be some type of a flat, it can be ABC. So wave 4, it can be something more complex. Wave 4 has a variety of patterns to actually present as a corrective force, and wave 4s usually represent the final balance between the bulls and bears before we have the final push on the upside and a bigger pause in rates, which I'm seeing coming in 2023, 24, and most likely even the first part of 2025, where I think the risk assets will gonna continue and move further on the upside. So we still need to this to unfold into some type of an impulsive wave to the downside. We have some type of a wave 1 and 2. We need this to move further lower in some type of an A, or a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Depends which of these patterns are going to unfold, but most likely we are going to begin a couple of weeks and even months or two this correction in the yellow wave 4 in rates before we start to move further upside in this wave 5, which will be, I think, the final move in rates in this cycle beginning from the COVID start in March 2020. So all of the timing of our hypothesis was based a little bit less than fundamentals because they were pretty murky. Majority of these things I was looking from a technical perspective and also from the macro themes and fundamental data. But as you can see, a composition of these two maybe gives probably the best results when you are faced with a something and which brings lots of events, lots of information. You also need to do your technicals to see what potentially might occur. So the same situation is in the European front. Our highs for the wave 3 has been respected. We are moving lower on the German 10-year Bund. So I think we are starting also the wave 4 in some shape or form. And we're going to finish around February, March, around 3%, which actually 3 months Euribor, 1 month and 6 months actually projecting on the future basis. So I think we're going to finish close to 3% before we have a bigger pause, and then again reflationary initiation on the further upside after this pause actually passes. So dollar index, I still don't think this is the high. We are moving lower, of course, because the rates are moving lower. I'm still looking for a triangle or ending diagonal here, so I don't see conditions necessary here for this to be a completed wave structure. So I'm looking for either expanding ending diagonal, or I'm looking for a triangulation. So some of these two patterns, according to which one the rates are going to develop, I think it's going to look alike. We will go back and forth, maybe even down to this 103, 104 levels in some type of a flat, of a triangle in an ABC. And then we're going to trace down a B, C, D, and E. We're going to consolidate, and then we're going to, I think, have one more push on the upside. Because if you look a smaller time frame, this actually doesn't satisfy the completing sequence, because we have only 3 waves on the upside. So this must, in my opinion, I'm not saying it must be, that will be too arrogant. My opinion is that this is not a well-placed conditions for the dollar cycle to end. I still think we are in some type of a consolidation of these two patterns, and I think one of them will unfold, that actually dollar still didn't actually complete the cycle on the upside. I think we're going to have one more push as the rates, and then we're going to have a bigger correction which will last year and a half, and even more, either of a smaller or a bigger magnitude in dollar index. So if you look commodities, our thesis that many of the lagging data in CPI will finally play out, maybe is starting now, at least for this pause in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So pretty much sideways price action. I do expect a little bit this can morph into a triangle or something of a pause pattern, and then we go down in a B wave or a second wave. So this is pretty much in line with the consolidation, and then after when we see a little bit of sideways or a flat, we're gonna, I think, continue down in price of commodities until we have this reflationary cycle further on the upside. So oil, pretty much the same. The stock market is moving on the upside. I think the oil will follow up to this 100, 105 region. That will be an X wave. We will go down in a second wave for some part, and then potentially we're going to start with the stocks continuing higher in the wave 3, 4, and 5. So total crypto market cap has fell below the previous lows. There is a couple of possibilities here. I was looking for a triangle or a flat. Flat is still a possibility in this wave 4. I don't think we actually completed this sequence. This is just another form of a correction. So one additional thing that can happen here is some type of a ending diagonal, which we introduced before. Most likely this might be the path if we look the situation in cryptos, or it can be some type of a flat moving further on the upside. So if we have this ending diagonal, we'll have a 3 waves down in 1, 3 waves up in 2. So wave 3 still didn't complete itself. Maybe this is just an A, up in B, down in C, and then we have a wave 4 and wave 5. It will take some time this to unfold. In a case of a flat, this will be a wave A, down in B, up in C. and we can develop a 5-wave move on the upside, which I think will be the high for the wave 4 and the final push down in the wave 5, where this 5-wave move will actually complete, and we're gonna have a new cycle on the upside or a bigger correction in an ABC pullback backed above 1 trillion, 1.2 trillion at least on total crypto market cap. So net gas is still in a corrective sequence. I'm looking to anchor this wave 4. This can be here, it can be a little bit lower. I still think we are going back and forth here. So I do expect this to actually produce before a wave counter validation level, one more push on the upside and continuation in this wave 5. So that was just a small update on the macro themes. Pretty much the things are evolving towards the first completion, which is the most important information here in this rate cycle. Let's look gold and silver and what is going on there. So let's see what is happening on that front. So gold is obviously going up because dollar is going down. I still don't think this is a done deal with gold. I'm looking for some type of a flat wave C in the ending diagonal. Nevertheless, I might be wrong. This might go up in 5 waves, and over the secondary wave here, the ending diagonal pattern will be invalid. So all depends what we are going to do here and what will happen in this. I will prefer one more push to the downside as the dollar move on the upside. So I'm still gonna stay cautious until I see a break above these levels in the 1870 and further higher. So let's see what is going on silver. Silver is in a similar situation. It's breaking a little bit more on the upside. It's much more closer than gold to invalidate descending diagonal. So potentially we might be completing a silver move down here. I'm still waiting the confirmation, so I'm going to present that chart next week with the update. For now, we are satisfying the reason still to go one more move down. If this morphs into something more of a fair and impulsive move on the upside, this will be the low in silver, and we're going to continue most likely after a corrective pullback further higher. As the rate is going to make a pause and dollar will make a dive, silver and gold will definitely have a chance to rally much more higher than the current in the current situation. Okay guys, so let's review what is going on cryptos. We all know what happened with the FTX. I'm amazed about the irresponsibility of this Sam Bankman companies, especially Alameda. There has been a pretty large chunk of investors from institutional and also very much from celebrity front into the FTX. This amount of irresponsibility and what they have done, it's definitely mind-boggling, and especially they have exposure on a collateral with the FTX coin. So that's such irresponsible moves. I'm really amazed what they have done and what they have caused. I don't know if the cryptos will recover from this for a long time. I hope it will. But this is a much more bigger blow even than Celsius and even than Luna collapse. This is really relatively, I hope it's the last blow. There is not much of exchanges left. They can guarantee some of the safety, let alone if we can guarantee anything in that space. As we've seen what's going on, nobody is handling that responsibly for now. That will probably call for more regulations, and unfortunately maybe the cryptos will be or they might lose its initial kind of a decentralized in a sense freedom for participants due to regulation. We will see. It is too early to speculate. This still needs to unravel what has been going on behind the scenes. We all know the story from the a small conflict between the Binance and FTX and lobbying affairs and all of that stuff behind. But the amount of, as I'm going to repeat that several times, the amount of irresponsibility what this guy did, I'm really amazed how somebody can do such stuff and can be such irresponsible with this amount of investors. This serious guys has been investing in the FTX, and this is just like you gave a child to play with a couple of toys which he's allowed to break, and he did exactly that. He broke every rule of a solid risk management, and I mean, I'm really amazed. So let's pass through that. Let's see what is going to happen. So as I said many times, Bitcoin, this is not a triangle anymore. It is rarely that the B wave in contracting triangle can go this far. It still can be, but then in that case it will take much more time. So I will jump from triangle, as I did in a total crypto market cap, in a potential flat or ending diagonal. So I don't know how this will deteriorate further. I do still think that this is the last sequence in this move on the downside. The question is, are we going to invalidate the overall bullish wave count? And that means that we need to trade on the downside below 13,870. So this is going to be the crucial level for the Bitcoin. If we pass that levels, we'll have to change this chart into a more bearish one. But before this bearishness, we're going to see a larger corrective pullback back to 2832 or 36k, even 40k. So I think this is anyhow of what is going on. I think still this is the last sequence from these highs in a 5-wave move. For me, only open question stays, are we going to invalidate the bullish wave count in this potential wave 4, or we're going to trade 5 waves in some form or the other form? So it can be ending diagonal, it can be a small flat, a little bit of a risk on due to these falling rates and stocks going higher. Maybe Bitcoin will follow and Ether will follow on the upside as the rest of the cryptos, and then the last move down when the rate's gonna trace a wave 5 on the upside. I think the Bitcoin will follow the overall market. Anything which will invalidate this outlook will be a move above 36k. I don't know how big chances of that are in this situation. I think they are very slim, maybe even non-existent in my opinion. So I will regard this for now still as some part of the wave 5 developments, or a wave 4 in a wave in a pattern called flat, or an ending diagonal, being now down in 1, up in 2, down in 3, still not completed, 4 and 5, and we actually complete this cycle around 15k without the wave count invalidation. Although I'm not very comfortable of Bitcoin trading very closer these invalidation levels. This is going to be a thin pass if we actually finish this 5-wave pattern without this wave count invalidation, almost like a kind of a last save. So the Dogecoin moved down. Now it's moving higher. We talked about the Dogecoin. We needed a 5-wave move on the upside. We got only 3 waves. So let's observe what is going on here. So we still didn't actually made an impulsive move. We made a thorough video about that a couple of days ago, that we need to see a 5-wave move for the completion of the impulsive move, and of course we didn't. We looked for a correction or a reversal. For now this looks like a reversal. Let's leave it like this until we have a confirmation or some better visibility on it. So for now we came pretty sizably lower towards 0.045 on a Dogecoin. So I will leave that out from any kind of a significant attention. One of the chart that failed, that I have been wrong, It is XRP. I was looking for a triangulation here and an impulsive move. We didn't pass this low, so I'm going to work on this chart and post it on a Twitter. If you follow me on my Twitter handle, I was looking for a more developed pattern in a triangle. So this is not the whole scene. This is just a Binance feed. So I'm gonna publish a new chart what I think on Twitter. So if you like, you can follow my Twitter page. I do publish lots of charts there from time to time. And we need to see also what's going on Ether. And of course, Ether fell pretty drastically. We had a long position on Ether with a stop loss on a break even. We entered some around here. Our members on the high leverage trading has got out because, of course, reliable hefty profits on this trade. Longer term, as myself, a more risk reduced trade was stopped out on a break even. Luckily, we contained that risk because we were faced with a pretty sizable move lower. So I'm still going to look this for some type of a wave 2 in an A, up in B, down in C. I still don't have much of a visibility currently. This is developing as we talked with our members last night. I can show you a couple of charts we published on a Discord last night, emphasizing this as a potential lows with our members, potentially not longer term lows, but just intermediary ones. So we can maybe look for some type of an impulsive development here in a Bitcoin and Ether. So I'm going to show you a couple of charts that we looked for our members. So this was the Bitcoin chart. Last night we looked for this as a support levels at 127, one of the peculiar ratios for the potential B wave in flat. We held there and we moved a little bit more on upside. We also looked something similar on Ether, moving a little bit lower. This is still a Bitcoin. Let me just find some Ether chart. It's somewhere around there. So let's not bother much to search for that. So on the longer time frame, I'm going to continue to look this to be bullish, although there is a probability that we are going to be in some type of a wave 4, which means that wave 4 didn't end it here. So I'm going to be very patient, wait for clues. I'm not going to jump in. We might put a couple of small trades back and forth trying to capture some of the exposure here, but I'm not going to put anything big since my outlook on rates is still timing this around February, March. So I don't think it's time to be brave because we don't know if this is a contained situation. We don't know if this is some type of a lows or this is going to actually break and continue a little bit more lower around 700. So I'm still going to stay open. Because this can be still a 5-wave sequence down, although the wave count invalidation on Ether is much lower than on Bitcoin. It comes around 366, and actually Ether has to do much more muscle to invalidate the bullish wave count. If we start to move lower in a 5 waves and Bitcoin invalidates the bullish wave count, I will gladly in that situation anchor a wave 5 here and look this as a first impulsive move down in Ether, and after a pullback I'm going to look for lower levels. So for now that is still not the case, so I'm observing situation very carefully what is going on here. I think we are in the last stages of this initial move. I think it's going to pass a little bit more time until this sequence is actually played out completely. So we are not there yet in my opinion. And I'm going to be patient and wait for some type of a longer term exposure, either in a bigger correction or a bigger move on the upside. Depends on the financial conditions and everything else that I look for a final impulsive move on the upside. So one of the charts also, it worked well. It's our Ethereum Bitcoin cross. We looked for another move lower in that cross, which actually has played out last night. So this was also a nice chart of the potential C wave. here in this relation. So is this done? I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have some type of an ending diagonal. So I'm also gonna stay cautious here, but definitely now we have a three-way move down. Maybe still not completed, maybe completed here, and then we're gonna continue upside. So I'm gonna stay bullish on Ether towards the Bitcoin, as I presented on this couple of occasions before in the Crypto Lab. So guys, that's complete our formal presentation. So we have did this extensively because of the current situation and what has been going on with the FTX and the crypto space. Luckily the CPI was lower because it will give some breather to the risk on assets, and that might save the day for cryptos. Otherwise, this situation is really grave, guys. I don't think you have seen me to be in a panic mode in any of these situations for the last 2 years. I'm not in a panic mode, but I'm just saying this is a grave blow to the crypto community all around, from all sides. So I hope it will be contained, at least for some part. So let me look, what is your questions and comments? Just give me a minute to go into our stream. Yeah, so let's see how this will pass. I hope it's going to be contained. As the latest news, I think Binance is not looking to acquire FTX because it's around 8 billion, I think, that it needs to be covered. What is going on there? Overall, I think we can know in a couple of weeks. What is going on there? Overall, I think we can know in a couple of weeks. Okay, guys. So let me see your questions. I was just looking the YouTube video to see your comments. So let me just address a couple of them. Felix, copper lover in the house. Okay, Felix. Let's look what's going on copper. So finally. Yeah, copper is pretty much tied to the risk off, risk on. I will still not look for this to be end of this copper rise, copper move lower, sorry. So I still think we're gonna potentially do one more push on the downside. This can morph into some type of a flat, or we go a little bit more higher and then actually complete this cycle. So anything which will make me looking differently on copper needs to produce a reliable wave 3 above this corrective channel and a full 5-way swing on the upside. So there is no question we are very far from it. So I'm gonna stay that looking all of the macro scene that this is just a corrective move and we're gonna have one more move to the downside on copper. So that is my current observation on that. So I don't think we are close to there, and I don't think we are going to see a longer term reversal yet on copper, at least for some time now. Okay, so let me look a couple of other of your questions, and let's look what's going on some other cryptos. Okay, so copper, Chiliz, let's look what's going on Chiliz. I didn't check that chart, to be honest, for some time. We looked for a move lower, as I remember, on Chiliz. Finally, this charting package is starting to work out. Yeah, so we looked for a move lower. This was a 5-wave move. This is potentially some type of a flat. If this is an end of this potential wave 2 or a wave B, we should see this form a 5-wave move further on the upside. So this might be some type of a flat correction done, or we have some type of or a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, some type of an ending diagonal down in 2. But we can look what is going on from week to week. So potentially this might be the lows, or we have a little bit more, but this definitely looks constructive in my observation, because the complexity of this move to the downside most likely has been finished. We had some type of a complex correction actually completed here, and from there we have this impulsive move development here. So this can be put in a couple of contexts. From the Elliott Wave world, you can actually do this WXY, or you can do some other, but you will need to do some more mumbo jumbo in a complex triple zigzag. We don't need to complicate here. This is pretty corrective. There is no impulsive sequence, no continuation in a third wave. After that, we post impulsive move on the upside, correction is done, or a little bit more lower, and then off we go. Potentially we might look for higher levels on Chiliz. So let's keep it simple. Alan is saying on CNBC this 10-year dips, then goes to 5% in 2023. I don't know what that means. I don't see that 10-year is going to 5%. Who is that live, or I have no idea what is on CNBC. As you can see, the rates are moving lower, so I don't know what it is. Sorry, I cannot understand. My S&P wave count, let me show you that. I still look for a move higher. So it will be, in my views, which differs from Todd and Bennett. Todd and Bennett are looking for a more complex correction, a triple zigzag. I like it to be WXY, so potentially, I mean, it's the same target. So I do think we are in some type of either WXY and then X, and then again we are going down for a Z or for a Y wave. It doesn't matter, the target is the same. So I'm looking for either anchoring wave B here, or in some strange event, maybe it will go a little bit lower up in C, testing these levels in the B wave, or the another part of the wave of the Z wave, and one more push down, looking the fifth down in rates. What will make me recalibrate this wave count is if we get a pure 5-wave move up, actually penetrating this channel and moving further on the upside. Then in that case, when the rates are going to do a 5-wave on the upside, the S&P will just correct, and then it's going to continue further on the upside. Okay, I think that is less likely to happen. So I'm going to be more of a observer here for the C wave up, and then I'm going to see what the rates are doing there, what is the macro picture and everything else, and then I'm going to decide and see what the price action will do. In my opinion, we're going to have one more move to the downside towards 3,000, 3,200, somewhere around there. Okay. Okay, so let's see a couple of others. We have been on an extended broadcast today, of course, because of the situation. I just wanted to update you guys. What is this? Find yourself a hot girl. My God, I think they missed the channel. Did we have any hot girls here, guys? Oh my God. Okay, so let's look what is going on Matic, and let's complete today's broadcast. Of course, if you want the further guidance on cryptos, you can visit us at tradinganalysis.com. we have a very extensive coverage of cryptos, and of course, we not to mention, we have successfully saved almost all our members from all of these wreckages in the last couple of years on cryptos. They're all safe and sound. A couple of them has been sustaining some damage, having some funds in the Celsius and FTX, which is who can guess that? And these things happens very fast. But most of our membership core is looking good, and we are ready to enter into some longer term positions when the time comes. So if you like to have a more moderate guidance without mooning too much, and a couple of well think of trades and really kind of a solid guidance, I will gladly recommend Trading Analysis for you in your crypto journey. So you can check us out. You have a $27 trial, I think, and we have a great also Discord community. So let's look Matic and let's complete this broadcast. Let me just find the Matic chart for you and what is going on there. So Matic is moving only 30% this morning. So is this completed some type of a running flat here in a wave 2, or we're gonna have a little bit more downside? I don't know currently. So I'm going to look for even potentially if we have the wave 5 in Bitcoin. I still don't see conditions that this is the terminal lows, at least for now. So if this starts to develop further higher, I will anchor this wave 2 for now. I will have it a little bit lower yet. Okay, so I'm still gonna stay optimistic from February, March towards Matic. I cannot just decide if this is a done deal or something more will fish out in the crypto sea from this FTX disaster, and the cryptos will dive lower. We don't know that yet. Okay, so I'm gonna stay open to this couple of possibilities. So guys, thank you very much for the attention. I hope this extensive coverage helps you to navigate all of these really difficult markets. This is a situation where many people which are many years on the financial markets are trying to as hard as they can to see what is going to happen in the rates with the stocks, and the lesser part of them with cryptos. So I hope you like this guidance that we are doing a Trading Analysis, and that we can help you in some way to actually have the larger visibility of what is going on according to our view and our tools that we use to observe the market. So click the like button, subscribe if you like. Daily updates will continue. I'm gonna throw a couple of more videos here on YouTube on the specific target. So see you guys next time. Be well. Bye bye.